Hi class, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Ernesto Miranda versus Arizona. And this is a case regarding our Fifth Amendment and our Sixth Amendment, and the question of violation of the civil rights were violated. Ernesto was a Hispanic Mexican Latino from a poor community, but he had a history of crime on all his, juvenile years or whatever. At 18, that's when he got arrested at his home and was taken to a police station and interrogated by two officers. And there, he was not aware of our Fifth Amendments. The Fifth Amendment and the Sixth Amendment about self-incriminating and the right to have a lawyer present while you get questions. The officers did not made him aware of his rights. So his confession was unquestioned if he self-incriminated himself in the violation of his civil rights, because he was not aware of what was his rights, and he was not aware that he had the right to remain silent. So then he appealed to the courts, and I guess with the lawyer and everything, it got to the Supreme Court, and I think it was in June 1966. I'm not sure the date completely, but it was when it got to the Supreme Court, and they brought it into question, and they heard his case, and they threw his confession out the court. But then later on, he was again the second. They had enough evidence, and they were able to convict him the second time. So he ended up still making time, but the fact that this brought a lot of chaos on the confession that was thrown out, out the court, and it was unmissionable to be as evidence. And so this brought a lot of confusion with the officers and how to protect, our Fifth Amendment or Sixth Amendment, and still be able to get those interrogations and the submissions as evidence. So then they created the Miranda rights, and that's a protocol for the officers to read to any person that they're going to arrest and take into custody, and they're going to question. So the fact that the protocol is only needed if they're going to question to you, but that's to safeguard for the confession to be admissible in the court. So it's not really, if they don't read your Fifth or your Sixth Amendment, it's not really violating your rights when you get arrested. They don't have to if they're not going to question you. So if the officer doesn't want to question you, the detectives don't want to question you at that time, or they have enough evidence to pretty much to convict you of the crime, then they don't really need to question you. So they don't really have to read the Miranda rights. They just do it just in case you say something in the patrol car or on the way over there, that then later on they can use it against you in order to be admissible in court. But they don't have to. So don't. A lot of people say that they got their civil rights violated because they didn't get their Miranda rights. But that's only if the officer wants to question you, and that's only protocol. It's not violating nobody's civil rights. It is if they end up questioning you without you having knowledge of your civil rights. So that's two different things, and a lot of people confuse it. But this was, it was in Arizona, and it was on the. 1966, the court ruled that in order for confession or self-incriminating statements or anything like that to be admissible. Okay, now for fun, I'm just going to read the Miranda rights. The Miranda warning. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and it will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you are being in question. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to you to represent you before any questions if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of these rights I have explained to you? Having these rights in mind, do you still wish to speak to us? Okay, that's I'm gonna read them in Spanish now. Tienes el derecho de permanecer en silencio. Cualquier cosa que digas puede ser usada en contra tuya en la corte. Tienes el derecho de hablar con un abogado y que esté presente contigo cuando sea interrogado. Si no tienes la disponibilidad económica para contratar un abogado, te será asignado para que te represente antes de algún interrogatorio. También puedes dejar a un lado tu derecho de permanecer en silencio y tu derecho de solicitar un abogado y pueda proceder a contestar cualquier pregunta, hacer cualquier comentario que desee. Si decides contestar la pregunta, puedes para en el momento que deseas y reclamar tu derecho de solicitar un abogado. ¿Entiendes lo que te acabo de decir? Well, thank you, class.